In today's episode of the Deadly Dozen podcast, we've got Billy Blower, who's a really well-known fitness racer in the UK, well-known in the HYROX circles, and he's also the current world record holder in Deadly Dozen. So his solo time is 43:35, and he's also got the pairs world record for the male pairs, and that's 35:26. So impressive times. Like I say, nice to meet you here, Billy. First of all, what we'll do is let you introduce yourself.
Oh, that sounds good, doesn't it? World record holder. So I'm Billy. Fitness is just a hobby for me. I'm a builder, I do high-end renovations and extensions, stuff like that. And yeah, fitness is just a hobby, but I'm pretty all right at it.
Oh, wow. So, and what's your aims with that then? So obviously, I've seen your Instagram page actually, and the work you do is impressive. That's what I looked up when I thought, right, who is this guy that's just got the fastest time? Looked him up on Instagram, and I seen he does all these sort of high-end renovations and stuff like that. So what's your plan then with fitness racing? Is it to take it much further, go full-time, become a sort of sponsored athlete, or is it something that you want to keep as a hobby?
I do want to take it a bit more seriously. Like, there's levels to it.
Yeah.
Do you know, like these top level athletes, the nutrition's on point, they training they probably 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm probably training 9, if that, you know.
Yeah.
And that's just the difference in levels. But you working full time, I can't train for 20 hours a week.
No.
It's just.
But click your fingers and imagine now you can train full time like a professional athlete. Could you be elite? Could you be the top? So you are of what to the layman would be considered elite. It's often what I call sort of like that. You've got elite and then world class.
Yeah.
Do you think if we could click our fingers and you are a full-time athlete, train as much as you want, you could be world class?
I reckon I could be up there, yeah.
Yeah?
I reckon I could get top 50.
And do you want to take that leap?
I'm on the fence at the minute. Yeah.
It's hard, isn't it? Because a lot of it's like I say...
It comes down to money, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, we said on a previous podcast, I said a quote which was bizarrely from Rockefeller, which is, you know, it's hard to give up the good to go to the great, you know. So it's easy when you've got nothing better to do, not necessarily at rock bottom, but it's easy when you've got nothing to do to just go for something else. But actually, you're a successful bloke, you're working hard, you're earning good money, I imagine, or you know, more than enough to sustain yourself. To take that leap into sport is a huge commitment, especially when you're in your 30s.
Yeah.
You know, and you've got no children, or you've got, you know,
no
you've
children. Got 3 dogs.
3 dogs. So just as much hard work. So you've got a lot of things going on that it's hard to take that leap.
Yeah,
you know,
of course,
you've got to give up a lot of responsibility and also be potentially quite selfish, haven't you? To go, right, I'm going to be a full-time athlete and concentrate on my training. So what we're going to do in today's podcast, now we know a little bit about you, is on previous podcasts, we've actually gone through 6 questions. However, we found it to be, going forward, it might be a little bit restrictive. So we want to allow for more conversation between myself and the guest. So we've got 3 core questions that we want to ask. And it's all about what your ethos is when it comes to training, nutrition, mindset and racing and work and lifestyle, essentially, right? So first question that I'm going to ask is, what is your ethos when it comes to training and nutrition? What's the overarching principles that you live by in your training and the way that you fuel your body?
So, it's in like, I want to train. Like, it just makes me feel good. It makes my day go better. It makes my work better.
Yeah.
It just overall just makes my life better. If I don't train, I'll just go depressed.
Yeah. So it's mainly mental health for you?
It's not mental health, like, because I don't suffer from that, I never have, but it's just, you just feel sluggish all the time.
Yeah. Well, someone actually once said to me that when you say mental health, people go, they straight away think about negative mental health or mental illness. But if I were to say to you, like, what about your physical health? You'd be like, yeah, I'm physically fit. Or I'm like, talk about fitness, you say I'm good. Now, when I say mental health, that can actually mean like just mental health, like mental fitness. So potentially we could have a different term like mental fitness. So it's when you're not training, it's not that you're depressed or you're clinically depressed or anxious. Yeah. It's that your mental health is, or your mental fitness is down on that spectrum.
Yeah.
So when we train, our mental fitness goes up, and that's the way I like to see it. And I think for most people, it's like in this gym here, the majority of people train because they feel better when they train.
Yeah, yeah.
So when it comes to your training methodologies and the way in which you approach training, what are the core pillars of your training program? So I know you do a lot of running, don't you? So one thing I was surprised to see, that I thought you were sort of all in fitness racing. That was sort of, right, you work full time, you're a fitness racer, and that's what you've come into. But actually you do a lot of trail marathons and you've done runs.
So I've done one ultra.
Oh wow.
The 50 miler up Snowdon.
But you don't do them all the time. You just jump. So I assume that you've done quite a few, because you've done like a 50-mile ultra. So you just went, right, I'll just do that then.
Different gravy, that, like different level of fitness. It's just, if your body's not been to that, you can't just go and do it.
So you haven't done marathons prior to that though, or trail running? You just went, right.
No, I trail run all the time, but probably I think I trained for that, and the max I did was 24 mile, I think, maybe. Okay. So it's not even half.
And then you just doubled up.
And then my training dropped off, and then I thought, I've signed up for it now. I just want to do it for the mental toughness.
Oh wow.
The gain in the mental toughness.
Okay, so when it comes to your training then, what are the core pillars? So what I'm talking about is programming wise. What approach do you take with your training?
So this is another thing. It's like, Cam's only ever done my programming, which my missus, and I think I've done 4 weeks into it, and then I just
do your own thing.
I can't. Yeah, I just do my own thing.
We have a fancy word for that in essence. It's called auto-regulation. So right, it sounds better than just doing whatever I want. So you go off how you feel. So on that day you go, don't want to strength train, I'm going to run.
Yeah.
Or, I'm going to, do you do, in any given week though, so what we, another fancy word for a week is a microcycle. Do you do a certain number of strength training sessions, a certain number of runs, a certain number of what we might call mixed modality or circuit training sessions or race simulations? Do you have any structure, or is it just, right, I'm going to be intuitive?
So in the lead up to, it was Manchester, which I pulled out, Manchester HYROX. I was on, it was a 4-week strength and then 4-week conditioning, I think it was. But I only managed to do the strength and then just fell out of it because I'm used to that high intensity work.
Yeah.
So when I'm coming to do 5 sets of 5 on squats and then that is just all, it's just all strength. I'm just bored and just, I'm not enjoying it. So, and then that's only lasted so long, and then I just faded off and then pulled out the race because
you didn't feel ready. So, and do you do lots of low intensity work then, the zone 2 work, like lots of long duration running?
I do a lot of running because I take my dogs, obviously. So I do like half marathons. Just nothing like, but it's the way I see the trails is it's like interval work. So the hills, your heart rate's going high, and then back on the flats, you're just running zone 2, chilled. Downhill, you're going fast.
So it's like fartlek training.
Yeah, fartlek training. Yeah.
So you almost with your training then, would you say that majority of the work you do ends up having a lot of intensity?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
And do you do a lot of circuit training?
So I do the classes, the first 7 classes, which are high intensity circuit training. One's a more HYROX specific work, and then one's more dumbbells and conditioning and stuff like that. But it's all high intensity pushing and
So that's the bulk of you, because you've got these, low end 40-minute deadly dozen times, which we know are really fast. You've recently got a sub-hour pro HYROX. I mean, one thing that amazed me and Simon was that when we watched the video of you crossing the finish line, it didn't even look like you were breathing. I mean, when I cross a fitness racing finish line, I'm like a distressed animal that's like got breathing difficulty. I'm really, right, he's done a fitness race. Whereas on that video, you didn't seem too fatigued. And when you cross the finish line on the the deadly dozen. You did the McGregor walk, didn't you?
Yeah.
You know, and you didn't seem tired.
Yeah.
So are you, when you race, are you at sort of sub-threshold? Are you pushing yourself? Like, so are you worried about going off too hard at the start? Are you worried about having energy left at the end? Because the way it seemed to me is you had more in the tank. Yeah. Or do you think you just pace your races right?
I've been doing it, 3 years.
Yeah.
So, and I've raced, 20 odd HYROX races. So I know my boundaries, I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses. I'll always start a race quick because I'm pretty quick off the start.
Yeah.
And then, say to the Berlin, for example, started quick, first into the ski, and then literally deep breath, and then just pulled, but just kept
got it back.
Got my heart rate back down, and I was skiing at 157.
Oh wow!
500, so it's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean?
So you're not.
I'm nowhere near these top guys.
No.
And then there's ting ting, can hear them all leaving. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
I just thought, you don't go anywhere.
just keep the pace.
Keep to my own race, and I just felt on fire in Berlin.
Yeah, it was just because that's actually something that I say to a lot of people as an S&C coach. Is sometimes people look at a performance of a race and go, what did I do differently? Why was I on fire? Sometimes you're just on point. Yeah. Because there's so many variables that dictate how you feel on any given day. Strength undulates, your endurance undulates from day to day, that sometimes you just get the right race. Yeah. And one of the reasons why racing a lot you end up getting a good time. Yes, it's experience and technique and pacing, but it's also, you've got more chance that you're going to hit a good day.
Yeah.
That on that day, you've had no viruses that week, you've got no underlying colds, you're just on point and your power output's there. Yeah. And that's probably what you're seeing there. Yeah. But that really impressed me, how you sort of seem to be not fatigued really, especially like on the HYROX, 109 kilo wall balls, and you sort of jog straight through.
I knew I was on for the time as well, so
it's leader legs almost.
The time was, as long as I brought the sub 60 by 10 seconds, a minute or a second, like that's all I went for.
Yeah, it's a big milestone.
So I looked at my watch and I had 15 seconds to go, and I was like, just looked at Cam and my teammates, winked. And just strolled across.
Because you are. We'll get onto that about sort of, you are very confident with it all. So would you say that when it comes to your training, do you think you would be better if you were more structured with your training, or do you think your training suits you?
My training suits me because that's how I like training. But if I want to go to the next, the next level, like I said, there's
you
levels.
Need to listen to your missus.
I do need to listen to my missus. And there's no denying that she's probably the bestest coaches in fitness racing.
Wow.
Do you know
we
what
need to get her on. Yeah, chat to her.
Because she goes to all these fitness races and podiums at them all.
Wow.
It's got what?
Well, like I say, the gym and everything, it's impressive.
86 HYROX flags this season. There's no one competing.
I thought you said as a whole.
No, wow. And then last year we had 50 odd. We're the leaders, you know.
Wow, that is incredible.
We come to your race, podiumed, the women's doubles, podiums.
Yeah.
The doubles, podium, the single.
See, I want to get a top spot on one, so I need to make sure he's not. You're not at Birmingham, are you?
I'm going to Alexandra Park. I've got a ticket off someone else because it's sold out, didn't it?
Yeah. So right, that's the one I'm going to try, because I want to try, but I've just got to make sure that no one's there that goes well sub 45, and then maybe I've got a chance, but never mind. Right, so, but I'm still going to race. So that's your training. What about your nutrition?
Right, so this is another thing. I eat what I want, me.
Yeah.
Like, I'll eat.
And have you been one of them guys that has always, you get them stereotypes of, young lads that just eat what they want and are naturally very fit. Is that you?
Yeah, so don't get me wrong, I do eat good.
Yeah.
But if I want a chocolate bar, if I want to eat a McDonald's, like, I finish training sometimes on a Sunday and just literally come out the gym and there's a McDonald's there and just go to McDonald's, like.
Don't look at me.
And then they're all lads are driving past like that. Do you know, pointing at me at drive-through. But yeah, it's like it's the next level as well.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? If you
and do you think
start
that would give you that extra level?
Yeah, I do, because I've started dialing in. Like, I'm starting to enjoy my training now. I don't force things, me.
Yeah.
Like, it comes when it comes.
It seems like you've got a good mindset for it. You're not going to burn out.
Like, I've tried forcing coming back to training, and it's not been there, and you don't like it. You end up hating it, if that makes sense. And I've started enjoying it more, and started fueling a bit better. Do you know, having my oats. Didn't used to have breakfast or anything like that, but having my oats. I've not had a kitchen for 3 years.
But
so,
you do the renovations, don't you? Is that because you're doing
yeah,
your
that's
own?
because I'm doing other people's.
Yeah.
But
it's like a cobbler has the worst shoes. That's what they say.
Yeah. So we've literally just got our kitchen worktops and that cooker. So we've started cooking. Nice. Decent food now, and
does your missus
is
she as good at nutrition as she is at coaching? Is she?
Yeah.
She's quite into the nutritional side.
Like, she's had a bit of a laxy period, because you're around because we live together.
You're happy, that's what we call it.
Yeah, it's happy, you're comfy, aren't you? And then it's like, it just flicks.
Yeah.
The switch just switches, and we've started eating a lot better. But she can just turn it on.
Yeah.
Like, within 3-4 weeks, you'll be just lean.
Wow.
Do you know?
Yeah. We see that a lot in like combat sports as well. And it'd be interesting to see whether we see it in fitness racing, people sort of really dialing in, or whether they'll just be 365 days a year, just oiled up abs. So we'll move on from the sort of training nutrition and go into your sort of more, which we've almost touched upon, your sort of mindset and your racing ethos when it comes to racing. So one thing I've noticed is you have a real sort of game face persona to your racing. And is that a game face, a race face, or is that you? It's a very confident, a very outgoing, it's a very, almost extravagant, Billy Blower's here to race, Yeah,
I'm here to race. I'm here to win, do you know? And that's how I've always been. Like, when I boxed when I was younger, it was just like
confident.
I feel like, yeah.
And do you like being? Is it to the point of coming from boxing, and obviously boxing and combat sports, they have a lot of, sort of fight talk, smack talk. Is that the sort of way you like to be in fitness racing?
Yeah,
would you like to give people?
Yeah, because I like winding. That's how I've met most of my the friends. Like Bod, she's from Wales, but just winding them all up on Instagram. Do you know? And then next thing, I'm racing with him. Do you know?
Yeah.
Now he's joined Phase 7. It's just like, for me, everyone's bored. They take it serious.
Yeah, take themselves too serious. There's nothing worse than people that take themselves too seriously.
It's like, I'm eating this, I'm training this, and it's like, I'm just a human being, me. I'm a builder. I've got Greg's for sausage and bacon butter. Do you know what I mean? And still come and whoop you. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
So I like that. So, but I think when it comes to sport, and we've seen this with boxing, one of the problems with amateur boxing was they wore head guards. So they never had any you never knew who was boxing almost. It was like red and blue, right? And the pros, what happens at a professional level is they have banter, they have personalities, they have the smack talk.
Because you know you're looking at.
Exactly. And when it comes to fitness racing, actually to create, we call it the sport of fitness racing. And you had CrossFit that is a sport, and the sport of CrossFit, and they would often say, well, all of this is CrossFit because CrossFit is constantly varied. But actually, I believe it all falls under the umbrella of fitness racing, whether it's HYROX, DEKA, whether it's Deadly Dozen, whether it's CrossFit. It's different verticals within fitness racing. Now, if you want fitness racing to be entertaining, like a conventional sport like rugby or football or anything like that, there needs to be variability. There needs to be stuff that's exciting. That's why strongman is probably one of the only strength sports that's exciting to watch, because there's more variability, but there's also personalities. There's personalities that you get to know. You get to know the Eddie Hall, the Four. And if we want fitness racing, whichever ones become the most popular to watch, and we want it to be seen as a sport, there needs to be personalities. There needs to be people. It makes it more exciting when you've got someone that's like, look at, he's a gobshite, or that person's really cocky, or that person's quiet, or people root for that guy or that woman, whoever it is, because they are an underdog or they're quiet. But then that one, he's really confident or she's really confident. I think that's key for developing this sport. It's not just about having influencers. Influencers are great, but it's having characters. Yeah. So it's not being famous for being famous.
The spectators as well. They're there to watch you.
Yeah.
Do you know? Sure.
Well, I would definitely be more entertained watching you race if you were, approaching it the way you do approach it. Yeah. It's like saying I can have a Greggs and come and beat you all. I want to get as close as I can to your time. I raced at the weekend. I'm a weak runner. I got 46 minutes. So I know I can break 45, but I think you're going to be even faster now, aren't you? And you had hard conditions in October.
Conditions, yeah. It was wet.
So
soggy, slippy.
Yeah, it was.
So that's another subconscious thing when you're running on grass with kettlebells, or you're burr crawling or running with a plate over your head, and you want to turn on.
Yeah. It was hard.
It was seconds. Do you know what I mean?
And when it comes to your mindset, then sometimes you might miss pace a race. It doesn't seem you do a lot of the time, but what is it in your mindset that makes you keep going when things are burning, when it's really hard? When you've gone, right, I've gone too hard, I've hit the red zone. What do you think it is that keeps you going? What's your mindset? Is it toughness? What fuels your racing? Is it are you angry when you race? Are you happy? Are you just focused? What is your mindset?
So I'm always confident, no matter what.
Can't tell, can you?
It don't matter about if it's a race or if it's a situation in life. I think confidence is key.
I agree. Yeah.
And then when I'm racing, if things are getting tough, like Berlin, honestly, Berlin was a walk in the park, and then I raced Cardiff 2 weeks later, and you just know straight away from the first run, and I just thought, I'm not firing here. There's no fire.
Yeah.
And but it's all experience. So I just think enjoy the moment that you're in.
Yeah.
Whether it's hard or whether you're thinking it's easy. I just think enjoy just have what's in front of you and just deal with it.
And if you were looking at your watch and you knew, I'm 5 minutes behind pace, and you weren't feeling it, would you just slow down and enjoy it, or would you ever walk off?
I would never walk off. I walked off, obviously, in the hybrid game.
With
that
injury.
Was injury,
Yeah.
But I would never.
It wouldn't destroy if you were like, right, I'm not on pace here.
No.
You just
and you
keep
get
going.
some of the top boys in the HYROX doing that, because when you cross that line and that time registers, that can affect your Elite 15 time. So that's why they pull out.
Ah, right, yeah.
So they don't finish, do they? DNF.
Yeah. It's
because that Elite 15 now is so competitive and it's like there was all top dogs, moaning about times in Berlin.
Yeah.
Come and race it then. Do you know what I mean? Come and race it.
Yeah.
You know it's quick. I knew it was quick from the year before. That's why I did it. I'm not denying it was a quick course.
The bottom line is if this is sport, you'll get judges that are a little bit hard. You'll get variability. Whether it's a football pitch, whether it's a windy day, there's always going to be variability, and actually that adds to the sport.
Yeah.
And sometimes judges will make the wrong decision. Yeah. Now we want to sort of mitigate that as much as we can, but the bottom line is fitness racing is a sport, and there's going to be variability. And actually you've got to sort of lean into that variability. So what we'll go on to is we talked about obviously your training, your nutrition, your sort of mindset with your racing, is how this applies then to, we've already found out what you do, but how does this apply to your, business, work, and your overall life? The approach that you've got from fitness racing, and how does fitness racing impact your life, and how has it changed the way you are in life?
I know
there's a lot there.
Yeah, I don't think it's the fact that the fitness racing is, but I've never felt as fit, obviously. I've never felt as strong.
Yeah.
And taking that into the work I do, and say, for talking like an experience in work is, say, when someone's grabbing a steel or, do you know, and then give it here. Do you know, like, it's...
that makes them feel good, doesn't it? Give it here, mate.
Well, do you know what I mean? It's like, if you're not fit and you're not healthy, you can't just go and do that and you're not confident, obviously.
Yeah,
you know
you're more
I mean?
functional. Mark Ripperto used to say, famous strength coach used to say that, you know, strong people are more useful in general and harder to kill, you know, and I thought that's quite a good quote. But no, do you find that, obviously you're very driven in fitness racing, in sport, are you as driven in business? Like, do you want your business to keep growing, or are you someone that's very happy with, right, I've got my work, this is what I do a good job, work the hours that I work and go, or are you sort of very entrepreneurial? Or
so it's the more I train, the more my business will suffer. Yeah.
And you're happy with that?
And the more I don't train, then I can focus on getting work in and stuff like that. But I'm just happy.
Yeah.
Do you know, working, getting money to live and doing what I love doing.
And then being hobbyist. And that thing, I always say to people, what makes me happiest, if you were to say, what is it about all the different work that I do and my family and the, you know, racing and training, is the contrast. You know, I'll have days where I sit writing on my computer, I'll have days where I'm coaching in the gym all day, I'll have days where I can get to train a lot more. And for me, it's that contrast that really works. And you might find that actually, you know, if you went full time into, you know, fitness racing, you might not love it as much as you do now, because fundamentally now it is, you know, it's a hobby for you, but you're very good at it.
As well, I enjoy working.
Yeah.
Do you know, I enjoy like a job satisfaction and, you know, walking in to, say, a new kitchen, what I've installed, and the customer's just the face, like, you can't buy that feeling. Do you know what I mean?
And it's a real, like I say, I've seen on Instagram what you're doing, it's impressive.
Yeah.
And it's really good work. And as you can see, that's the sort of stuff that gets a lot of views on Instagram, because it is impressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Seeing that sort of high-end you know.
It's like I want the best. I want to do the best in everything I do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But if I want to, like, push my business more, then my training will suffer, my lifestyle will suffer.
Yeah. And you think right now you've got the perfect balance?
I think I've got the perfect balance now, yeah.
So you wouldn't change much?
I could probably, I'd like to train probably a couple of extra days more and work a little less. But I enjoy the balance what I've got now. So
it sounds like you've got it all going for you.
I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I've got a good missus, a nice house.
3 dogs.
3 dogs. And I'm all right at my hobby. So,
sport that you love. So what we do to finish the podcast is we have it where we go 3, 2, 1, go. So what we want is 3 words or phrases that define your ethos, 2 habits you swear by, and then 1 final piece of advice for the listener. So to start, 3 words, it can just be a word or a phrase that define your overarching ethos, your life.
Confident.
Yeah.
Confident. The will to win.
Will to win. Yeah. I like that.
Happiness.
And happiness.
Yeah.
And I always ask this, what do you define as happiness?
I think happiness is just,
It's an hard one, isn't it?
It is an hard one, yeah. Just that overall feeling of nothing matters.
Yeah. Content, almost.
Content, yeah.
Because people sort of talk about, I said it on a previous podcast, is happiness fleeting joy, or is it this sort of smooth level of just feeling content?
So my dogs, they lie asleep like that. Bruce, big ball sack on him, just lies on his back like
Billy
that.
next to him in the same position.
Asleep, and I just look at cameras like, I wish I was that dog. Do you know, just chilling there.
And that's the way you want to be.
Yeah, it's just a nice life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's the key is the mindfulness, the gratitude for that, where you're what you're doing there is seeing that, but also being like having the gratitude yourself, where you're like, you know what, I've got it, which you've said a number of times on this podcast, like, I've got it good.
Yeah.
You know, and you've got that gratitude for what you have got, and not necessarily wanting more, in not meaning that in a negative sense, like it's not ambitious, but you're like, look, I've got my goals and my aims, but I'm happy with this because it's
greed,
really good. Yeah,
greed just
it's not
spoils
greed,
everything.
No, absolutely. I really like that. Yeah, it's really good. I really like that. So we'll go on to 2 habits that you swear by. Doesn't have to relate to diet and exercise or anything like that.
Habits.
We've already established that you're quite intuitive, so you sort of do what you want to do, don't you?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have a habit.
Nothing at all?
No.
So like I say, not everyone's, you know, driven by habits. I mean, we could almost say that.
Because people say, oh, I need to be up at this time, or I need to be doing this.
Well, that was what AJ, a previous guest, was like. He was very much 4 a.m. every morning. This is what I do. This happiness is achieving my goals that I've set out. And you're almost like the polar opposite of what AJ was, you know. So both brilliant fitness racers, you know, fantastic fitness racers. He's the most habit-driven, up at this time, process-driven individual. And on the other side, you're far more intuitive. Yeah. And it's just different ways to skin a cat. Yeah. So for you're saying, I don't really have any habits. You know,
not that spring to mind. And it's like as well, like when these people have got to be up at this time, and then you'll get people, oh, that's how you need to live. Do you get what I mean?
Well, routine can become a crutch as well.
100%. I like routine, but only in moderation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like my routine is my class on a Friday, my class on a Sunday, track on a Wednesday. Like I've got to be doing that, obviously, and walking the dogs.
Yeah.
But it's not like a set routine, eat at that time, eat at that, you know. Yeah. Some days I can.
So we're going to basically say that Billy's habits then is to be more intuitive, be more dynamic. You know, I think people, because like I said, a strict routine can actually be a crutch. If you need, right, I need to do this, this, and this, and that can actually be a limiting factor.
Yeah.
Oh, if I haven't had this,
and then it's
I'm not ready.
Life, then.
Yeah, so that's fine. We don't have to have habits. Right. So one final piece of advice that you want to leave the listener with.
Stay fit.
Stay fit.
Stay fit, it'll change your life.
It's probably one of the best pieces of advice you could give, really. I completely agree with that. I mean, fitness
is the best medicine.
It really is. Fitness is freedom. You know, movement 100%. Is freedom. If you know, you people would give up anything that don't have movement. They're not physically. Fitness is the ability to do things, essentially. It's being capable. That's what fitness is. It's just we express it in a gym. But fundamentally, it's the ability to walk, run, lift something, move your body to perform actions. You know, without that, you're trapped in your own body, you know, and that would be, you know. So fitness is freedom. So your advice for the listener is keep yourself fit.
Keep yourself fit. It'll change your life.
I couldn't think of a better piece of advice right now. So Billy, like I say, it's been an absolute privilege to have you on. You're a brilliant fitness racer. I love the mentality that you bring to the fitness racing. I think it's people like you that the sport needs to elevate the sport, bring more personality, bring a bit of banter, good British banter, you know, and I wish you all the luck in your career as a fitness racer. We'll be seeing you this year at Alexander Stadium, probably smoking my time, but I'll be trying my hardest. Like, he'll be there like all smooth and I'll be... But there you go. It's been an absolute privilege, Billy. I really mean that. And thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.